The rain had begun without warning, thin silver threads falling from the gray Beijing sky, slicing through the late evening light as if the world itself were holding its breath. Inside Han Group headquarters, the marble lobby glowed gold, towering glass walls reflecting the storm like trembling mirrors. Employees rushed to finish their shifts, voices hushed, footsteps sharp. No one dared to look too long at the scene unfolding in the center of the hall. Because Li Chiyue stood there, drenched, shivering, holding nothing but her worn canvas bag, and in front of her, Manager Qin Weiguang's voice cut like a blade. "Security, throw her out." Chiyue did not bow, did not beg. She only tightened her fingers around her bag strap, swallowing the tremble in her throat. "Manager Chen," she said softly, "I only came to hand in the design drafts. They're due today. I wasn't trying to cause trouble." A humorless smirk twisted on Chen Weiguang's lips. "Trouble? You?" He stepped closer until she could smell the cologne on his suit. Sharp, metallic, almost rotten. "You should thank me for letting you work here at all. A girl with no background, no money, no education. Han Group isn't a charity." Workers nearby lowered their heads. They all knew the truth. Li Chiyue was the most hard-working junior designer in the department, but she was also the easiest to bully. Chiyue opened her mouth, forcing calm into her voice. "I submitted perfect work. If you fire me, fire you." Chen laughed harshly. "You're not worth firing. You're worth removing." He snapped his fingers. 2 security guards approached. Before they reached her, another voice echoed from the grand staircase. "Cool! Steady!" cutting through the tension like thunder through fog. "What's happening here?" Everyone froze. At the top of the stairs stood Han Chen, the CEO, the coldest, most untouchable man in the entire city. Tall, sharp-featured, clad in a black tailored suit that made even the executives look like shadows beside him. His eyes, dark, unreadable, fell straight on Chiyue. Her breath stopped. Qin Weiguang bowed instantly. "President Han, it's nothing. Just disciplining an unqualified employee." Ichen's gaze slid from Chen to Chiyue's soaked shoulders, her trembling hands, the wet strands of hair clinging to her face. His jaw tightened, but he said nothing, just watched. Chen continued quickly, trying to seize the moment. She violated department rules, disrespected superiors, and caused internal conflict. "I've decided she's to be removed immediately." The guards reached for Chiyue. Ichen's brow twitched, almost imperceptibly. Then Zhao Lihua appeared beside him. Red lips, flawless makeup, sparkling earrings. The daughter of one of Beijing's wealthiest families. And the woman everyone assumed would become Mrs. Han. Her eyes narrowed at the scene below. "Chen Weiguang is right," she said sweetly. "This girl has caused enough issues. She looks unprofessional. Better to get rid of her." The words landed like acid on Chiyue's skin. Chen smirked triumphantly. Ichen remained expressionless, but his hands, hidden in the pockets of his coat, curled slightly. Chiyue lifted her chin, swallowing her humiliation. "I didn't do anything wrong." Lihua laughed. "Of course you didn't. Poor people rarely think they're wrong." Chiyue's face paled. Something inside her cracked, but she held herself upright, refusing to bow to them. Chen gestured sharply. "Take her out." A guard grabbed her arm. "Wait," Ichen said suddenly. Silence fell like a dropped curtain. Chiyue turned toward him, hope flickering, dangerously, painfully. Maybe he would defend her. Maybe he would at least ask what happened. But Han Ichen's expression didn't break. His voice was quiet, calm, detached. "Don't drag her. She might fall." The guards loosened their grip and then shoved her toward the door. Not violently, but enough to send her stumbling into the rain. Chiyue caught herself before she fell. She didn't look back. She didn't cry. She simply walked out of the Golden Han Group lobby, out of the building she had poured her dreams into, out of the place that had swallowed 2 years of her life. The storm swallowed her whole. Inside, Zhao Lihua smirked triumphantly and threaded her arm through Ichen's. "Good job. That kind of girl should never appear in front of you." Ichen didn't respond. His eyes remained fixed on the glass doors, where Li Chiyue's small, lonely figure slowly disappeared into the rain. Outside, the storm intensified. Wind whipped at Chiyue's clothes as she hurried toward the street, hugging her bag against her chest. Her phone buzzed, A message from her landlord. Rent overdue. Evicted by tonight. Her steps faltered. Evicted. Jobless. Moneyless. Thrown out of the only place she had left. For a moment she stood under the flickering streetlight, rain dripping from her chin, her breath trembling as the world blurred around her. Then she straightened. She would survive. She always did. Lightning cracked across the sky just as a sleek black car slowed behind her, tires splashing through puddles. She didn't notice. Not yet. Inside the car, the man behind the tinted window gripped the steering wheel, knuckles white. Hani-chan watched her through the rain. He had followed her. He hadn't meant to. His body moved before his mind did. He told himself it was coincidence. Told himself he was only checking the weather. Told himself she deserved none of his concern. But the storm outside, and the small figure walking alone, made his chest tighten in a way he did not understand. His driver hesitated. President Han, are we following her? Ichen's gaze sharpened. No. A beat of silence. Then, keep the distance. The driver nearly choked. Chiyue reached the bus stop. Empty. Cold. No roof. Rain pounded her shoulders. The city lights blurred through the downpour. She wiped water from her eyes and sat on the cold steel bench, staring at her trembling hands. Her life had fallen apart in a single hour. Inside the car, Ichen's jaw tightened. Why wasn't she angry? Why wasn't she crying? Why was she sitting there like someone who had lost everything and still refused to collapse? His chest ached, sharp, unfamiliar. But before he could move, before he could make a decision, someone else reached her first. A sleek white car pulled up. The window rolled down. Zhao Lihua. Her smile was poisonous. Well, well. Look who's sitting alone in the rain like a stray dog. Chiyue's fingers tightened around her bag. Zhao Lihua, what do you want? Lihua leaned closer, eyes glittering. To finish what I started inside, she whispered. To make sure you understand your place. Behind them, inside the black car, Hani-chan's eyes turned cold as ice, and he opened the door. The storm roared louder, swallowing the sound of traffic as Zhao Lihua stepped out of her car, heels clicking against the soaked pavement. Her umbrella was pure white, spotless even in the downpour, like it refused to acknowledge the dirt around her. Li Chiyue stood slowly from the bench, trembling from cold. Zhao Lihua, she said quietly. Why are you here? Lihua tilted her head, lips curling. To see how far you've fallen. Her gaze swept over Chiyue's soaked clothes, her thin jacket clinging to her skin. You look pathetic. Chiyue's fingers tightened around the strap of her canvas bag. You've already humiliated me enough today, she whispered. What else do you want? Lightning split the sky, illuminating Lihua's face, a mask of elegant cruelty. I want you to disappear from Hani-chan's sight. Forever. Chiyue flinched. Not because she cared about Ichen, but because she was tired. Tired of being stepped on. Tired of being seen as worthless. She exhaled slowly. Don't worry. I don't plan on going back. Lihua blinked, surprised. Then she laughed. Good. Very good. She leaned forward. Girls like you, girls with nothing, should learn their place. Your existence next to someone like Ichen is a joke. Chiyue's throat tightened, but she didn't look away. I never wanted anything from him, she said. Not his attention. Not his help. Not his world. Lihua smirked. Then why was he watching you all afternoon? Chiyue froze. Rain dripped down her lashes as she whispered. What? Behind her, the black car engine hummed, unheard, unnoticed. Lihua's smile sharpened. Oh, you didn't know? He stood there the whole time you were being thrown out. Didn't lift a finger, of course. She leaned in closer, voice icy. He didn't defend you. He didn't protect you. He didn't even speak for you. Because to him you're nothing. Chiyue's heart stuttered, not from betrayal, but from the harsh truth stabbing into an old wound. She lowered her gaze. I know I'm nothing, she murmured. You don't have to remind me. Lihua's eyes flashed with triumph. Then, a door slammed. Hard. Both women turned. Hani-chan walked toward them through the rain. Without an umbrella. Without hesitation. Without a single word. Water soaked his coat instantly, but he didn't seem to feel a drop. His steps were steady, dangerously steady. Zhao Lihua's smile faltered. Yichen, what are you? He didn't look at her. His eyes were locked on Li Qiyu. Under the storm-dark sky, the two of them stood facing each other. The powerful CEO drenched in rain, and the girl who had just lost everything. For a moment, the world felt impossibly still. Qiyu swallowed, her voice barely audible. President Han. His chest rose and fell slowly, the only sign of the emotion roiling inside him. Why are you out here? She asked softly. His answer came low, quiet, almost rough. Why are you out here? Her breath caught. She took a step back. Distance, instinct, fear. I told you, she whispered. I didn't do anything wrong. I know, Yichen said. Zhao Lihua stiffened. What are you saying? She caused chaos inside. Yichen's gaze snapped to her. Cold, sharp, glacial enough to make the rain feel warm. Enough, Lihua. She stepped back instinctively. He returned his gaze to Qiyu. You're soaked, he said quietly. You'll get sick. Qiyu exhaled shakily, not sure whether to laugh or cry. You were the one who let them throw me out, she said, voice trembling. You didn't say a word. Lihua smirked. See, even she knows her place. Yichen's voice cut like ice. Lihua. It was a warning. But Qiyu didn't look away from him. It doesn't matter, she whispered. I'm used to being treated like trash. Something inside Yichen snapped. His voice was low, dangerously low. You are not trash. Her eyes widened. The rain hammered around them, drowning out everything but this moment. Lihua stared at him in disbelief. Yichen, what are you saying? He ignored her again. He took a step closer to Qiyu, then another, until he was inches from her, rain sliding down his hair, dropping from his eyelashes. His voice softened. Come with me. Qiyu froze. I don't have anywhere else to go, she whispered. But that doesn't mean I should follow you. His hand twitched, like he wanted to reach for her, but held himself back with painful restraint. You're not alone, he said. Lihua's voice cracked with fury. Yichen, you can't take her with you. She's nothing. Yichen didn't even turn his head. He spoke a single sentence. Shen Weiguang is fired. Zhao Lihua gasped. You can't make decisions for my department. Yichen finally looked at her. Watch me. She shivered. Li Qiyu stared at him, disbelief and confusion swirling inside her. He wasn't defending her because he cared. He wasn't following her because he wanted to. He was just... What? What was he doing? The rain softened, turning to mist around them. Yichen's voice dropped lower. You're shivering. He shrugged off his coat, heavy, soaked, expensive, and draped it over her shoulders without waiting for permission. Warmth wrapped around her instantly. Lihua's nails dug into her palm. Yichen! Qiyu pulled the coat tighter, her voice trembling. Why are you doing this? His answer was almost a whisper. Because the thought of you walking alone in the rain hurts. Qiyu's breath hitched. Her mind went blank. Her heart betrayed her. It pounded once, twice, hard enough to make her knees weaken. Before she could speak, headlights cut through the rain. Another car approached. A luxury black sedan she recognized instantly. The door opened. A woman stepped out, graceful, elegant, wrapped in a long silk coat. Madame Han, Han Yichen's mother. Her gentle eyes widened as she saw Qiyu. Qiyu froze. Madame Han walked toward her with urgency, umbrella tilting, silk coat dragging through puddles. My dear child, what happened to you? Her hands were warm, trembling as she cupped Qiyu's soaked cheeks. You're freezing. Zhao Lihua's jaw dropped. And Madame Han? Why are you? Madame Han ignored her completely. She turned sharply to her son. Yichen, explain. He met his mother's gaze, rain dripping off his jawline. They threw her out, he said quietly. Madame Han's eyes burned. Who? Shen Weiguang. Madame Han exhaled shakily and pulled Qiyu into her arms, tight enough to make Qiyu gasp. You poor child. Come with me right now. Qiyu's voice wavered. But Madame Han. No arguments. Her tone softened. You need warmth and food, and someone to treat you like a human being. Yichen's eyes darkened, relief flickering secretly. Lihua whispered harshly, Aunt Han, you're taking her home? Madame Han didn't even blink. Yes. She turned to Chiyue. Let's go. Rain fell harder again, thunder rolling far above. And behind them, Han Yichen silently opened the passenger door, waiting for Li Chiyue to choose. The warmth inside Madame Han's car felt unreal. Soft cream leather, gentle heat from the vents, the faint scent of jasmine tea. Chiyue sat rigidly, hands folded in her lap, Yichen's heavy coat still wrapped around her shoulders. Madame Han sat beside her, fussing over her hair, her hands her shivering. You're soaked to the bone. Chiyue, how long were you standing out there? Not long, Chiyue whispered. Yichen, sitting on the opposite side, finally spoke. You could have collapsed. His voice carried an unfamiliar roughness. Madame Han shot him a look. And where were you while she was suffering? His jaw tightened. I was there. You were watching, Madame Han corrected sharply. You were not helping. The truth struck him like a blade. He looked away. Chiyue lowered her gaze, cheeks warming. I'm fine now, she murmured. Really? Madame Han took a slow breath, composing herself. You will come to my home tonight. You'll dry off, eat something warm, rest, and then we will talk. Chiyue blinked. I don't want to trouble you. You already are not trouble, Madame Han said firmly. You are someone I care about. Yichen's eyes snapped toward his mother. Madame Han caught the look and smiled faintly. Yes, Yichen. I care about her. More than you do, it seems. Chiyue flushed. Yichen fell silent, a muscle ticking in his jaw. The car wound through the Han family's private district, quiet roads lined with old cypress trees, stone lanterns glowing softly. When they reached the mansion, servants rushed forward with towels and blankets. Miss Li, this way. Please warm yourself. Chiyue bowed politely, still overwhelmed. I can do it myself. Thank you, She stumbled on the wet stone step. A hand caught her instantly. Large, warm, steady. Han Yichen. Their eyes met for a brief, breathless second. You need rest, he said softly. Her heart fluttered traitorously. He let go slowly, too slowly, before stepping back. Madame Han noticed everything. She smiled behind her sleeve. Inside the guest room, the lights glowed warm gold. A silk robe lay neatly on the bed with a note written in elegant handwriting. Wear this. Dinner will be ready soon, Madame Han. Chiyue touched the fabric, fingers trembling. No one had treated her this gently in years. After changing, she stepped back into the corridor, her damp hair tied loosely, the robe wrapping her like a cloud. She didn't realize Yichen was waiting. He turned, stopped breathing. For a moment, he simply stared. It suits you. Chiyue flushed deeply. President Han, please don't say things like that. He swallowed. I didn't mean. You didn't mean to sound like you care, she said quietly. His heart slammed against his ribs. She turned away. He stepped forward. Chiyue. She stopped. Didn't turn. His voice dropped raw. I do care. Her fingers curled. She whispered, You didn't defend me today. I know. His voice cracked. And I regret it. A silence heavy enough to crush them both settled between them. Then Madame Han called from downstairs. Dinner is ready. Chiyue stepped back. You should go first. Yichen hesitated, but obeyed. At the dinner table, Madame Han served steaming bowls of ginger soup, braised tofu, and warm rice. Chiyue's stomach growled softly. Madame Han chuckled. Eat, child. No one here will judge you. Chiyue took a cautious sip. Warmth spread through her chest instantly. She exhaled, tears almost falling without permission. Madame Han touched her hand gently. Everything will be all right. Yichen watched from across the table, expression unreadable, but eyes burning with something he couldn't name. Jealousy? Regret? Relief that she was finally safe? Chiyue didn't know. She only knew this warmth felt dangerous, addicting, because it wasn't hers to have. After dinner, Yichen walked her to the guest room. You can stay for as long as you need, he said quietly. She shook her head. I can't. I don't belong here. You belong, he whispered. More than you think. Her breath caught. I'm no one. You're someone, he said firmly. To me. Her heartbeat faltered. She looked up. He looked down. The space between them felt electrified, charged, ready to shatter into something neither of them was prepared for. But then, a voice sliced through the moment. President Han. Manager Chen Weiguang stumbled into the hallway, drenched in sweat, escorted by 2 guards Madame Han had summoned. Chiyue stiffened. Yi-Chen's eyes turned to ice. Chen fell to his knees. President Han, I can explain. You humiliated her publicly, Yi-Chen said, voice lethal. Chen shook violently. I was following orders. Whose? Chen choked. Yi-Chen's eyes narrowed. Whose orders? Chen's voice cracked. Miss Zhao Lihua. The hall fell silent. Yi-Chen's expression hardened, dark anger rolling off him like a storm. Chiyue's breath trembled. Madame Han appeared behind them. Yi-Chen, she said softly, handle this tomorrow. But he didn't look away from Chiyue. This won't happen again, he promised. Her lips parted. To speak, to thank him, to deny him. She didn't know. But suddenly, the mansion lights flickered. Once. Twice. Then, everything went black. The storm outside roared louder. And from the darkness at the end of the hall, a shadow moved. Slow, deliberate, uninvited. A voice whispered, Found her. Chiyue froze. Someone had come for her. Someone who didn't want her safe. Someone none of them expected. To be continued.